Let's go. It's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show.
Which one, old man, that ain't got time to shake your hand? Get that side check, put it in pockets till I get back. Going downtown.
Pokemon Sun and Moon are the newest games in a very long-running franchise. Pokemon has been in my childhood, and then to my teens, and then to my adulthood. It's been that series that I always come back to because it is a very fun RPG series. It's all about collecting monsters. If you're big into collecting stuff, this is the type of game you're going to want to buy. So Sun and Moon come out. We're adding more Pokemon. We're adding new forms to these old Pokemon, these Alola forms that are pretty cool ideas. But is the game actually worth buying? Does it do enough good that you don't just want to pick up a cheaper version of a game that came out 2 years ago? Let's find out.
Which one, old man, that ain't got time to shake your hand? Get that side check, put it in pockets till I get back. Going downtown.
Alright, let's start off the bat with the good. One thing I really like about this game is the atmosphere, the setting, the design. It actually feels very different than any other Pokemon game I played. So in this game, you are actually in more of like a Hawaiian type setting or tropical setting versus the other games, which have been very city. I mean, you do go into like forests and jungles and stuff in the old games, but this game feels like you're on islands all the time, and different types. There's like an ice part, there's a fire part, there's more of like a jungle type part, so they feel very different each area that you go to. So I really love that. Also, just the design in general of the Pokemon, but also the people. It's very chill, laid back, kind of cool setting versus the more city-like type setting that we've been getting in the last few Pokemon games. The other thing I really like is the Alola forms. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. My pronunciation's terrible. But basically, your old Pokemon now are a little bit different. So say, for instance, when you have something like a Diglett, it now evolves into something that looks like Donald Trump, a Diglett version. It is actually amazing that some of the newer versions of these Pokemon look ridiculous, while the older, some of them look amazing. Like, I love Golem's new form, and there's just a lot of cool, unique things for fans of the old game from Generation 1 or Generation 2 that really enjoy the old Pokemon but kind of want a new twist on it, because let's face it, a lot of new Pokemon kind of suck ass. So this is a nice way of getting your old Pokemon looking slightly different or just better. As I said before, this game looks different, but it also feels different in the sense that there's no more gyms. You now go through trials, and these are like cool ways of making it very different from the old games. In these trials, you can do things like have to guess a riddle, or you have to go and find treasure. Stuff like that is so much different than the old gyms, which you basically just face maybe 3 to 5 trainers and then fight the gym leader. In this, you still fight this mega totem Pokemon at the end, which is cool, but then you also face like an island leader, the Grand Trial leader, who is obviously pretty strong. So I do love that it has like the gym leader effect at the end of the trials, but the trials themselves are definitely refreshing and a better take for this series that is so long running that it's kind of getting stale with the gyms. They tried to do a new spin and it actually worked out well. The customization in this game is pretty decent. I mean, it's not amazing or anything, but you now have multiple shops where you can get multiple different clothes for your trainer. There's also ways that you can actually dress up your Pokemon sometimes, and there's also that feature where you can like pet the Pokemon, feed them, kind of making it more personal for your Pokemon to be with you. So that's always a feature that was in previous games, but it actually works better now, and it flows really well. And the last thing that I really liked in this game is the Z moves. There's a negative I'll get to, but the positive is it looks badass. Depending on what Z move you have, it makes that type like a strong, powerful attack. So for instance, if you're a grass type, you have this blossom-like grenade attack that just looks awesome. So the Z moves are definitely something cool and unique. It's kind of like the mega forms in the last game, giving a little twist on something that worked in an old formula, just making it a little bit better or highlighting a cool effect. So let's talk about the negatives. This game does a lot of tutorial in the beginning. So for the first about 3 hours, you're basically just listening to a lot of cutscenes and following a very strict path. As the game goes on, it does open up, though it does block you off at a lot of places, but I feel like every Pokemon game really did that. You couldn't proceed to go past a certain point until you beat a gym leader. Same thing here. I think the fact that you have a lot more cutscenes and a lot more talking sometimes takes away from the experience. It's something that I definitely kind of got bored of when I was playing. I was like, God, can't we just skip this cutscene? But you really can't. You just gotta hit A really fast because they're talking something that you don't care about. Also, another thing that really bugged me about this game is the battle system feels really slow. And I'm not just talking about taking away the battle animations. If you take away the battle animations, it still feels sluggish. It's like I click A, I click the attack, I'm still waiting about 2-3 seconds. That's no big deal, you're thinking, but when you're running into fights over and over and over and over and over again, it kind of gets annoying that the battle system can't keep up with your speed. In older Pokemon games, this was not an issue. You just hit A and it attacks right away, and it makes it very quick that you can do grinding, and it doesn't feel like a chore. In this game, it feels like a chore. And that other big reason, this goes right into my other negative, is the calling feature. Now, some people love this feature, and I get it. For Pokemon fans who love capturing the super stat Pokemon, that is wonderful. This is a feature that's for you. Basically, when a Pokemon calls for help, another one comes down and apparently it has better stats. Good for you. For people who are just casual players, this is a fucking annoying feature when you're fighting a Wingull and you just have to keep fighting it because it keeps calling a Pokemon, because they can call Pokemon even after they attack, or even after you kill one, it can then call for another one right away in the same turn. It is a very annoying feature. I wouldn't mind it if it took up a whole turn. That would not bother me at all, but since it doesn't, it just makes for fighting the same fucking Pokemon for far too long because the battle system is now sluggish. So it is a very annoying feature in my honest.
Wait for no man that ain't got to shake your head. Get that side check, put it in pockets like it's black. Going downtown.
So listen, there's not too much bad with Pokemon. I know I keep bringing up issues that I have with it, and I do have issues with it, but it's a fun game that's definitely worth trying. Of course, it is Pokemon galore. It has a million Pokemon now to catch. You can have fun trading, you can have fun battling friends. Everything works well, with the exception of the battle systems feeling a lot slower than previous entries, and also the fact that it's just very annoying call feature that really just, to me, took a lot out of it and made me not have as much fun as I was hoping to have playing this game. So overall, I'm going to give Pokemon Sun and Moon a 7.5. I think it's a good title. It's a solid title, but it has too many issues or problems for me personally that I just did not care for. So if you love the call feature, give this an 8.5 or a 9. But for anybody who gets annoyed by it, I'm going to go with a 7.5. It's good, but it could be great, and it's not.